Hello everyone and welcome to another car profile, and as you can see it's the GT by Citroen, or at least that's what it's called, and another Group 3 car of course. Now this is, I think, the very first Vision Gran Turismo car, because it was GT5, so this is way back when this car was officially announced, and there is like a real world road variant of this car driving around somewhere, or at least I've seen it driving around. But even so, look how good it looks. It does look futuristic. It's an MR car, so mid-engined, rear-wheel drive, and it's got a V8 and it's non-turbo. So this thing absolutely flies, to be honest. It's got loads of power, and they absolutely nerf it in terms of BoP in it to meet the class criteria. So here we go, Brands Hatch, and as you see we're starting lap number 14, so we're fairly late on. We're already down to a 122.230 on the optimum, but we are about to go a little bit quicker. So through the right hand at Druids, no huge issues. Now this car does have similar issues to the Audi and Ferrari in terms of the MR layout. So paddock kill, it does lose the rear slightly. You've got to really control the throttle. Actually, we're just behind our Ghost at the moment. So we are going to pull that back a little bit here as we nail that. Look at that. Oh, and we get the rear out a little bit there. Push on down the straight now. So you can see how the rear does come out on this car when you push it to the limit. It's very easy to come out. You've got to be careful of that. And one reason for that is the power. It does have a lot of power. Even though it's nerfed, it's still got power. Into the sort of back section of Brands Hatch. Obviously, it's high-speed corners here. This is what we're testing. It's got undulations. You can test the curbs a little bit here as well. Through here we go. Again, no issues. Look how close we get there to the exit. To the grass there. Through we go, and we're well up on our time at this point. 19.901. Extremely fast Sector 4. I'm not sure there's many cars that have gone much faster as we exit the last corner. You can just see the rear twitching a little bit. As I say, it does struggle a little bit with power oversteer. Not so much MR weight transfer, but look at our optimum, a 122.007. That is the fastest car now at Brands Hatch. So we have a new rank 1 leader at Brands Hatch. So let's see what it does at Dragon Trail. I'd say it's mainly power oversteer it struggles with. Lift off oversteer not so much. But the power all at the rear, it does struggle. As we come through here, you can see I'm abusing the curbs quite a lot here, so it doesn't really have any issues with curbs. I didn't find that, at least. Obviously when you're turning and with the MR layout and obviously putting the power on, it does struggle a little bit. And obviously Dragon Trail, we're testing curbs, stability, top end speed, and the chicane of course as well. So through here we go. Nearly a tenth up on our best so far, 32.7. Not the quickest first sector. I think our quickest first sector is a 32.5 in terms of all the cars, not this car. But through here we go. So this is where it would struggle a little bit with the rear, because when you touch a curb, obviously you transition in the weight a little bit, and obviously the weight is very sensitive with the power in this car. So the minute you put the power down, it starts to wiggle. It does have slight issues there in that corner as we come into here. Now obviously it's going to have issues into this corner, which is why I stay in third and not second. And you can just see a little bit of twitching. I'm trying to straighten out the corner as much as possible, stay tight and then extend it out. And we get a 30.5 sector 2 there, but in fact we have had some 0.4s here. So through here we go. Look how well we nail the chicane. Now I did that quite a lot. As you see, my lap 8 was a 36.8. We are going to go faster here, and of course we're looking for optimums, but I have to show the fastest lap because that's the only way you see the TV camera. So in we go into the last corner. Again, you got to be careful on exit. Struggles with power oversteer. So anywhere where you're just absolutely putting your foot to the floor, it is going to struggle with a little bit. As we head towards the line, it's a 36.716, one of the fastest laps you've seen at Dragon Trail in this BoP test, and you can see there we're 36.585. Again, one of the fastest at Dragon Trail. In fact, it is second, only behind the Corvette. So into Interlagos, testing undulations here, curb action again, of course, and stability a little bit in there as well. So through this Senna S, it did struggle a little bit. Again, it was similar to Dragon Trail. Like the minute you put the power down, the wiggle of the car does have an effect. And then when you add in the curb issue of cutting the curb a little bit, the weight gets all messed up, so you got to be careful there. We get a 32.2. Our best is a 0.0, I think. We'll check at the end, because of course I show you the optimum sectors as we head up the hill now. So obviously this is the point where we test undulations. How does the car handle undulations? So into this corner we go. Again, you got to be really careful about that power. So you can see I'm not full throttle throughout the entirety of that. Into here we go. It did struggle a little bit of understeer on that corner. but not a huge amount of issues. Through here, you just see the rear comes out a little bit, but quite easy to catch on that corner. I'm not sure whether the fact we're going uphill just helps the rear a little bit because there's more weight over the rear wheels, unlike other corners where obviously the weight is going to be a bit more flatter. Through here, I did have some issues on that corner with that bump. Again, any slight weight changes while accelerating, this car does struggle with, and it's because of the power, as I've mentioned. Leaving the last corner here, you can see we're about 2 tenths up, just under that. 44.6 sector 2, very quick middle sector. That's about where the peak performance is with most cars, and obviously most of the time is in the middle sector. As we head towards the line, it's a 30.9, our optimum down to a 30.7, and the key place that we're losing out really is a little bit in the first sector, and then obviously a tiny bit in the middle. So you can see that there. 23.1 was our actual fastest first sector. I thought we did get a 0.0, but obviously we're losing 2 tenths there. That would have been the 0.5 and matching the best. We're now at Suzuka, the balanced circuit. So coming into here, no massive amounts of issues with weight transfer under braking. You can trail brake this fairly well. If you touch the curb, that will send you flying a little bit. Again, weight transfer while you've got braking or power. This car's very sensitive to weight transfer, especially under throttle. You can see I'm staying in 4th for the majority of this. Obviously, we've got 7 gears. I haven't mentioned that. We've got 7 gears in this car. So I'm assuming this car's fairly good on fuel. We get a 33.0 there, so one of the fastest. Obviously 32.9 is the fastest we've seen, I believe, as we head now towards Tidgney 1 and Tidgney 2. I struggled with Tidgney 1 and Tidgney 2 in this car. It felt a bit understeery for some reason. I'm not sure why. Probably not in the optimum range of gears, and that's the reason why it felt understeering. But even so, we continue. We've got 19.1. I think we did get a 19.0 at some point. We did quite a few laps at Suzuka because I could never get it quite right. It was very strange. I'm just think the gearing was slightly off in terms of where the circuit is, and that's the nice thing about this BoP test that we're doing. We're finding where cars are really strong and really weak, and even a fast car like this, as we've seen at 3 tracks now, it's fairly strong. Suzuka, kind of a little bit of a weak point for this car, which is very surprising. Now, I've seen people do 57s in this car. I've done a 57 before in the RCZ, of course, before it got a little bit nerfed, so I'm not sure whether 57s are still possible now. Let me know if you're one of the aliens that can do 57s. Let's hear if you can do them. Potentially, I think it is there, to be honest. If you change your brake balance as well, because we do default brake balance, of course, you know, we potentially could get that out there. So 155 miles an hour at the split there. Apex speed a little bit lower than usual, but again, I think it's maybe struggling with high speed understeer a tiny bit, but not too much. Through here we go. Very stable at this corner actually, even though it struggles with power oversteer. But as we head towards the line, what are we going to get? It is a 58.7 there, and our optimum is in fact a 58.464. Oh, we do get a 32.9. Sorry. I didn't realise that. We get 0.0 and a few other bits and bobs there. But as you can see on the spreadsheet, it is second and only just behind the Porsche. Now, I think it's equal with the Porsche, if I'm really honest. I think the Suzuka time lets it down a little bit, and potentially Interlagos, but Interlagos is a little bit weird. I do think it struggles a little bit there with the power oversteer, obviously judging power in corners and things like that. But I definitely think it is with the Porsche. Now, if it's better on fuel economy, perhaps this is the go-to car. Who knows? If you can really nail the driving style, I think you're going to be up there. So you can see when I said it's been nerfed on power, if you look at the power percentage there, 87 and the weight of 110. You can see all the times across there. Suzuka speed trap 150. I give it a risk indicator of 4 because while it's very sketchy with power oversteer a little bit, I still found it fairly manageable in the grand scheme of it. I could literally drive the car how I wanted, pushing it to the absolute limit. You are going to experience a lot of slidiness, but that's to be expected with an MR car, and you can see for yourselves, it is a very quick car. So once it does go, it is hard to catch. So like literally when you've gone sideways and you're like over just a slight bit of drift, you're going to go flying in this car. It's very hard to catch once it goes. But that's the sort of the MR spirit. I mean, if you remember the MR2 for Toyota, just the road car, that the minute it goes, it just flies off. The car has very little understeer, but it does have some. But in comparison to the class, it's fairly nimble, to be honest, and you saw that, and I think that's just because of the car layout, MR car and stuff like that. And the nice thing about this car as well, so I mentioned fuel saving, you can change gear anywhere from about 3/4 up on the meter to the limiter, and it has no real impact on power, so potentially you can short shift, save fuel, and not really lose any speed. So it's kind of a really nice car. It's a car I probably need to try in the manufacturers at some point. But that's it for the car profile. I hope you enjoyed that one. Very interesting one. A really fast car. What is next on the list? Let me check for you. It is the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3. So we'll see how we do with that one. But I hope you enjoyed this video. My logo there is there. If you want to subscribe, there's a video playlist there. If you want to watch another one of the car profiles, we've done a hell of a lot now. 18 of them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.